So, good morning. Today's lesson is all about the issues and impact. So, how computing and how computers affects the environment is what we're going to focus on today. We need to be able to describe and quantify and talk about in an exam situation the impact of technology, both in how it's manufactured and the way that it is used. So, the fuel that it uses for generating the electricity, and also about how we dispose of our electrical gadgets. Can they be recycled? What happens when you throw away an old phone or something like that? So let's pause the video for a moment and discuss what we know already about the impact of technology on both air and water and CO2 emissions. So we want to focus on the raw mineral extractions when you make the products. So inside your mobile phone, you'll have all sorts of semi-precious metals. You'll have some very precious metals like gold, because it's a very good conductor, but you'll also have things like cobalt and lithium for batteries and for screens. And extracting those minerals can be really bad on the people involved, sometimes using child labour, but also can be really bad for the planet, using acids to wash away the soil and causing landslides and loss of biodiversity when you dig these mines to extract all the materials. So even though some companies, I don't know, like Apple or Google or Samsung, have these really fancy reputations for being good companies, actually, if you trace back the manufacturing production lines, you will find the way that every company causes both a positive and a negative impact. There are some countries where water is very, very precious. How can we reduce the environmental impact? So I think all of this is relatively self-explanatory. You'll get bored if I go through this. What I would like you to do is to work through the P7 worksheet on here. So these are some of the semi-precious metals or the potentially toxic materials that are used in the manufacture of electronic devices. I would like you to do some research and find out what it looks like and what it's used for. Is it used in batteries? Is it used in screens and circuit boards? And when you come across the description, try and find out the hazards. Is it dangerous to life? Is it toxic? Can it be corrosive? Can it kill you, or does it just damage the environment? Like, tell me as much as you can about these materials. So the idea of activity 1 is for you to research potential hazards of the minerals and raw components that go into electronic devices. The next part of activity 1, it doesn't give you a link to the article. I had to search for watercalculator.org, the water footprint of everyday paper and plastic, to get this one here. The idea is you want to read through and try and find out how much equivalent water is used in the production of things that you might think are actually quite environmentally friendly, just to get you to think about the environmental impact. So on activity 2, it's much more like what exam questions would be. So you've got the link there, work your way through. The pages that are most helpful to help you revise for this are page 57 and 58. You've got 2 pages in your revision guide and in your revision workbook. So that's environmental issues. Pretty much guaranteed to come up. It's come up in every past paper so far. So it's well worth making sure that you've got a really clear opinion on the positive impact of technology and the negative impact of technology. So it's page 57 and 58. And then when you've finished, it's not the end of the lesson yet, but when you have finished, please can you upload this onto half term 8 issues and impact 2 on the BLE for me.